now we got the meats. Now we got to get the pets. How's your pet doing? Scout, right? You renamed it Scout?
Whoa, her name's always with Scout. Someone else was just calling her a name.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
To me, she's always been Scout. Actually, it is funny. We went to go adopt her, and online it said Sophie. So we show up and we say, "Hey, we're here to see Sophie," and the lady says, "Okay, let me go get her." She goes inside, comes back out. She says, "Here's Chloe," and we said, "Sophie?" And she said, "Yeah, it's Sophie, Chloe, whatever." And I said, "Okay, we can rename her."
I know there's some hypocrisy as I tell the story, but so my wife, we got a puppy from a breeder October of last year, right for Halloween. And we had been looking on a website that had like the puppies, the pictures and the names. And one of the puppies we were going to go look at, his name was Hank. So we get there, we're like, we want to look at Hank. The lady brings out two like 4 or 5 week old puppies, like not ready to go home yet, but like just you can look at them, reserve them, whatever. And we're like, which one's Hank? She goes, I don't know. The mom keeps taking off the collars and we don't know anymore. And we're like, I guess they don't know either. So whatever. We probably rename it. And then we end up fucking like the weirdest shit happened. We're looking in there. We're there. We're trying to decide. We're not like gung ho yet about bringing home a puppy. Then like 20 minutes hanging out with this mom and daughter in their trailer that they breed dogs. And they have like, I don't know, a bunch of cats and birds. Your typical Williamston household in South Carolina, near your old alma mater. Daughter comes out and she goes, "Oh, we have this puppy that got left behind today." And we were like, "What?" Like, yeah, there's someone from Asheville who's going to come down and get him, but then they changed their mind last minute, said he was too small. She brings him out, and like I think I told you the story, and I think I'm showing you pictures of my dogs, just talking to you like. Just the most cartoony looking adorable thing, and my wife is like almost in tears, like looking at him, and I'm just like, well, fuck, I guess we're coming home with a dog.
I won't pet that dog.
Yeah, like he was just super playful and chewy and just nuzzly and snuggly right away. And I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to get a home. So we made the rash decision at that spot to get a dog. All that being said, because you got a dog recently, I wanted to do an episode with another animal theme with you. We just did Arby's. That's kind of like animal theme. But now we're doing Greenville Humane Society. For those who know, this is One Star Review. I'm Andrew Van, your host, with returning co-host Taylor Dorsett of the Professional Technical Interview podcast and YouTube channel. And he recently adopted a lovely, like 2-year-old female dog.
We rescued her, but really, who rescued who?
Not me. I fucking went to a breeder like a bastard.
Well, you rescued your dog too. You rescued it from a breeder,
from a trailer, exactly. So, and I'll tell you what, I remember when my wife had done the research and told me the price. Like my mind like blew up of how much. Whether it's inflation or whether it's like just the times have changed, but the last time she had gotten a dog was like 14 years ago. And it was like a fifth of the price 14 years ago for a puppy than it was this time around. And so I say that because I think with Greenville Humane Society, and I don't know what the rescue adoption fee for Scout was, but I'm pretty sure it was a couple $100s, right?
Yeah. I think it was like 250, 200, something like that. And this is for a pretty... just kind of a middle of nowhere place too.
Yeah, so I think that's sometimes people get upset when they look at prices and they automatically go rambling about it. So, did you want to read this first lengthy one, or did you want me to hit it?
Oh, I found a different one. You can hit that. Wait. I will say, just humane societies in general. A humane society in Vermont. I got a very nice dog from growing up, and it was a perfect dog for our family. We had for many years, and it was great. And then Scout we got from a rescue place, and she's a great dog. And I was against rescues, and my wife talked me into it because I was like, who knows, can you really get a good dog from a rescue? You can. Go to the Humane Society. You don't got to pay a bunch of money to a breeder. But growing up, I know we definitely paid $50 for our dog. And
$50, that's a steal.
$50
nowadays.
$50. Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, I think
All
it's
right.
10 times that now.
All right, here we go. We adopted a puppy for $450 plus $25 chipping in January 2022. We had her for almost 3 months. We had to surrender her for personal reasons. The day we adopted her, the woman we worked with told us if we had to even surrender a puppy that we would get a voucher to readopt in the future. Paperwork also said the same thing, but the voucher would only be good for 90 days. And the woman I spoke to on the phone 2 weeks before surrendering our pet, parentheses, I wanted advance time to see if there was any way I could keep her and still got denied, told me I would be able to readopt the day surrendering her if we wanted to at no cost. Well, we surrendered her on April 7th, 2022. I'm already emotional trying to do what I have to do. I spoke with the readopting and voucher just to get told, no, if you want to readopt, you have to pay more money. That is incredibly unfair. We were planning on taking my son back up there this weekend to readopt a pet we were allowed to, but had to come home to explain to my son that we could not readopt. Already sad we had to surrender our baby simply because of her breed and size just made my son even more sadder. The entire family, to be honest, because we don't get to readopt. If you're confused, they basically took our money and we got left with nothing. It shouldn't work like that. We should get refunded or be allowed to readopt at no cost. My family is left heartbroken.
I think I could have a better if you're confused. If you're confused, we adopted a dog. Wherever we live said you can't have a dog of this size. We didn't ask about that beforehand, and clearly we fucked up.
Yeah. And, I get a little bit of the whole, I got misinformation, I got rung around here and there. But again, I think it's one of those things where, like you said, there was some misresearch there of what they were getting. And I think in particular, like they kind of listed the dates out there that they were really close, if not, they had just passed that 90 days. Right. So it's like, I don't know. There's a whole lot there. And it sucks they lost $475. But at the same time, I mean, what do you really expect if you could just go back every 90 days swapping out pets? Like, that's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's not a boarding house. You can't just leave your dog there for a little while and come back.
Yeah. I first off, I hope the dog that she surrendered eventually found a good home, because places like this, I mean, they can be there for a long time, and it is extremely sad. Actually, I thought about signing up my kid to be a volunteer, but then I was like, no, because one thing, he would be extremely sad realizing the situation sometimes. Two, I would be probably in my like eyeballs with more pets in the house than we need. So being convinced that we need to keep taking them in. Anyway, you got a sad one?
I got a less sad one.
Oh, good.
Damn. Yesterday around 3 p.m., there was pop, assuming she means poop, everywhere in the cage. Stink badly. Y'all need to do a better job taking care of animals. Me and the man I was with went to another shelter, and I can say way better than y'all. Clean, very clean, and y'all price is stupid. Do you want to adopt out the puppies or just make money because the bigger dogs were cheaper?
What, the man I was with?
What does that even mean?
The
Is that like a weird?
I was with?
Like, is she scared he's gonna see it and think she put a label on it?
Do you ever call your wife the woman I was with in any context? Like,
I mean, definitely not in a review online.
in the man I was with. Oh my God. And then she complained about the poop and then smells like poop. That's like any shelter though, right? Like any shelter is gonna have that smell because there's a lot of things to do.
And they're like scared animals who are going from like hyper scared to hyper excited constantly, you know?
Yeah. I think one of the greatest things I love on Twitter/TikTok that appears on Twitter is when you see those videos of like a dog before they get adopted and a dog after they get like adopted and rescued, and it's just like extremely happy within minutes, knowing a situation like those are probably up there. Like those videos and like the army dads or a parent that comes home from overseas and surprises the family, that's like right there. Like if you want to catch me in a good
Oh.
cry, those are the two things that get me right there each time. Oh man, there are people are,
There's a lot of people who are just angry about how much it cost.
yeah.
Here's one. Unbelievable how much this place charges for mixed breeds. $500, and the root staff didn't know which mixed breed it was. I've rescued 2 dogs from this shelter years ago before the new facility was built. This is outrageous. I'll never go back. Overpriced animals and rude staff. Don't waste your time. Like, is she looking for the Clarence dogs because it's a mixed dog? Like, and does she expect them to test these things, like DNA tests to see what breeds it is? Like, yeah, they have an idea, right? Kind of looks like a lab. Like, do they know? I've never been to a place where they're like, we know.
There are places. I think you can even get home kits, and then you mail off like the sample, and the company will like send you back. Now it's like hundreds of dollars to do
Yeah,
so.
it's at least $250. I looked one up. They're not doing it for every random dog that comes in.
No, I mean, because that mean the expenses would go up. Now I do know that with Humane Society that they do take like a general ballpark guess at what a dog would be. I think based on like features, obviously. I like this one. It's a little sad, but it's also like I'm wondering what she did. This is 5 days ago. Trying desperately to get suggestions about finding homes for some kittens. I've called repeatedly for several weeks. You can't talk to a human. I've practically begged for a return call. No return call comes from them. I realize people are busy, but their voicemail says leave all info and calls will be returned. 3 weeks is adequate time for an expectation of a return call. What that means is that lady's had kittens in her house for 3 weeks. Her house has got to stink. I have one cat, and he's 8 years old. And each time I've had friends over, including yourself, I've never had anyone complain about the odor or like the litter box or anything. A lot of people are like, I don't even like notice. And like he's a weird Manx breed because like I don't think like even you who's like death allergic cats, like you got terribly like irritable around him the couple times you visited me while he was around.
Uh-huh.
But I can't imagine. I remember when I first got him, he was about 6-8 weeks old when I got him. And like a few months passed, I was working at a bank, and one of my coworkers said that their mom found a stray, and they're like, oh, you could have a friend for your pet. I was like, I'm not being the single guy with 2 cats. Straight up. Nope. I got to draw the line somewhere. Yeah, and also like it's a pain. So I feel for the lady who's like, I don't know what to do with these things. No. It's got to stink, and your furniture is probably torn up. So sorry for that, lady, if you're trying to do a good deed. So shout out.
I got one from I'll read the name because it's funny. Right. Nunya Business left a 1-star review saying, you can't go visit the animals anymore. It's really disappointing because we used to take our family there and spend some time with the animals waiting to be adopted. Now you need an appointment to spend time with any of the animals. What a shame. Now I'm 50-50 on this one, right? It is nice, you know, these animals probably do want people to come spend time with them. But you can't really just have randos walking through just like interact with any old dog, right? Like you basically, if you're going to have a family come, you got to have a worker like walking with them, right? So I get it. Make an appointment, guy. What if you really want to go, just make an appointment.
Speaking of which, going backtracking, I found the one that you read about the man I was with review. I love how in that one, there's no punctuation in it, but there's like a bunch of random double spaced everywhere. The fact that your head didn't melt while reading that is bravo to you. I just want to say
it was hard. It was difficult.
Like I have bad grammar sometimes when I go over to like my work documents or just emails that I write. And I'm like, wow, I sound like an idiot sometimes, but like I at least throw in a comma here and there. So just saying. Here we go. First, it took 2 attempts to even get in. Left a message on the main line 2 weeks ago. Never got called back. Friend on Facebook. got me a different number, left a message there, got called back right away. Appointment a week later, drove 15 minutes to drop off a dog that I rescued that was living under my trailer. My neighbor abandoned him. I took care of him for a month, but can't keep him. Landlord doesn't allow pets. Knowing I can't keep him, they won't take him just because he tested positive for heartworms. Something they can easily treat, angry face. Now I gotta go try and find another place to take him. I played a really appropriate sad music for that one.
Wait, does this guy live in a trailer and his landlord doesn't let him have a dog?
Apparently he rents a trailer, yes. And the landlord does not allow a dog. And this dog has been living under his trailer and it belonged to the neighbor that abandoned him, apparently.
It seems like a really tough situation. But damn, if you live in a trailer and you can't even have a dog, I mean, that sucks. Sorry, sir.
I also just feel bad because he's like, yeah, it's sick. You take care of it. But like, it's like, no, they can't because the other dogs will get infected too.
They don't have a special room for heartworm dogs, right?
Yeah.
Like
any shelter is like filled to capacity already as it is. And you can't just drop off sick things. Like I can't just like if something happened to my mom, I can just be like, all right, hospital, you take care of her. You know, I'll see you later.
What do you mean you can't cure it? I have to make an appointment. All right. It does seem like if we could have one maybe piece of advice for the Greenville Humane Society, maybe check your messages more or like have someone checking these messages. It does seem like this is a common complaint. I got one that rings true. I call and call, leave messages after messages, and it takes over a week for them to respond every time, except that during that time, the dog I want always gets adopted. They never answer the phone or reply in a timely manner. You can't go in, you can't call. So how are you supposed to adopt? I guess this place just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, I don't really get the whole. Is there something in this town that people just love phone calls? No, seriously, like I mean, I've had like I've had to call maybe a handful of times certain situations, but like for me, if I'm like want to adopt a dog, I think I would like do the research online, and then I don't know, I would just kind of just like see if I can make an appointment online. I think isn't that a thing in our generation? People hate the phone for the phone's actual primary use to make phone calls.
Yeah. I call sometimes. Actually, like a Humane Society, I might call because I assume like maybe probably the people that own it are a little older, so like maybe they're gonna pick up phone calls. But I'm probably gonna email. Like I'm sure 90% of their stuff is done through like they're just hosting their stuff online somewhere. You send them an email saying I want to adopt today. You make an appointment. They gotta have some way to make an appointment other than a phone call, right? Like it just seems like there is another way. Just some people are like, I don't want to do it the other way. Why can't I just call?
This one, I'm curious if the guy was wearing his mask too tight or something, because I'm trying to make sense of this explanation here. This is about a year ago. Used to be able to view at animals freely. It was how I adopted my 2 cats. Now even virus craziness have calmed down and they still only let people who are serious about adopting in. Get turned away when asked if I'm here to adopt. Animal care nearby does the same thing. This is a real shame.
Can I tell you a story about something my family used to do growing up?
Go on.
We didn't have a lot of money, and I've never, until I was an adult, I never realized that this was kind of messed up. There's a place that sold RVs and campers near our house.
Yeah.
At least one weekend a month, probably 2, during the summers, we would go to this RV place. We never bought an RV from them. And this is years of going to this RV place. We went to this RV place because they had hot dogs for free. And you can just go there, make yourself a hot dog, eat it, and then you go look at their RVs for an hour, and then you go home. I look back and think holy shit, the owner must have hated us, right? And the salespeople must have hated it. So we're just there for the free hot dogs, dirtying up their RVs, and then we're leaving. I feel like people want this Humane Society to work exactly like that. Come in, get a cup of coffee, get some snacks, maybe some free burgers, go pet a dog, and then they leave, right? Like they want a petting zoo, not a Humane Society.
Is that place still in business? That's what I want to know, because I feel like that's a 1-star review.
Oh, it's definitely still in business, but I would have to give it 5 stars. I drove by there recently and said, "Hey, I used to eat a hot dog there twice a month for years."
I never came back with an animal.
I got one here.
What a lure, though! What a lure! Like that's about as useful as when I used to be a realtor and I had a mentor who always, when I had a Honda Civic, it pissed me off a lot. If I had to do an open house for his team, he would tell me no less than 20 balloons is what you need to go set up in the break room. Go get you helium tank, set up 20 balloons, put them in your car, and set them out in that neighborhood in these certain spots. People love balloons. That's how you're going to attract business. I'm like, you are old as hell. And my car is small as shit, and now I gotta stuff them. I can't fucking see. I have balloons surrounding me, impairing my vision, and now I gotta fucking put. I gotta put them in 5 in particular intersections just to lure people. And by the way, a lot of times it is hot as shit in South Carolina, and those balloons do not last maybe like 30 minutes. And then I had to go pick up the trash that they would make and the mess afterwards and get nothing out of it. That's about as poor as the hot dog is to lure children into an RV, which does not sound sketchy at all, by the way, to pet some animals. I'm just saying.
Sorry,
you got one.
Another lure you might use is rentals. My husband went to drop off a trap we rented from them for $55. It includes the trap, the neuter, and the vaccines. We have so many feral cats in this colony that we gave up. Can't afford to pay $55 times 8 or more. So he went to drop off the trap and they kept the $55. That is theft. Either you give the $55 back when the trap is returned or the customer keeps the trap. Thanks for stealing from us. After we've given hundreds of dollars to this place in our efforts to do our part for a big feral colony. I'm a little confused because when you rent something, you pay a certain amount of money.
Sure. You
get to use the thing for a certain period of time, and then you return the thing. They don't give you the money back after. Does she just not understand what a rental is?
I'm pretty sure she didn't, yeah.
And what is the term colony in this circumstance? Where is there a huge feral cat colony? Are they building houses and wearing little red jackets and carrying rifles with pointy knives on the end?
Oh God, I hope so. Like warriors, but with like pets. That would be great. This one, I guess this one kind of vouches for why you hope that someone picks up the phone for you. I'll read this one as my last one here, but Greenville Humane Society's online quote real-time list of available pets, all caps, isn't real time. I left work early to adopt the pet I saw online, only to be told the pet was adopted. Don't trust their promise of quote real-time pet updates. It isn't true. I
want
to,
like, how out of date is it? Are they want it second to second updated, or are they saying like someone adopted this dog yesterday and we haven't updated it in the system yet? You know?
Yeah. There's more to that story I wish I knew, and I can imagine because you did that, right? You looked at Scout like online first, and then you got kind of like emotionally invested. But then did you call to like verify she was there?
Yeah, I think we did it through, I don't know, pet.com or petfinder.com, and we could like fill out the paperwork. We did everything online before we even went to see her. But it's because it was an hour and a half away, right? It was in the middle of nowhere. We had to go find her. If it was like 20 minutes over or 10 minutes across town, like just go see the dog. I get it. You have to spend the night doing it, but just go see the dog. It's a fucking dog. Like, it's not like a hard or an easy decision to make, Just go see it.
All right, you got one more?
Yeah.
All right, let me set you up.
I got there Sunday afternoon. Young girl on the table outside was real bossy. Fill out this form, fill out that form, and we'll talk to you then. Can't imagine what she's like with the animals. She went back She went back inside and let a guy cleaning door handles take the paperwork. Then a completely different girl came up to me and said, "Can I show you a Chihuahua? But you must take 2 dogs. In her opinion, they can't be separated." I won't go back.
I love how just openly condescending this guy is.
Like, what? And like,
she sure is real bossy. I love that she sure is real bossy. 2, that he hopes she's not that way with the animals. Like, I hope she doesn't push the paperwork around with the animals. Like, "Oh, come here, Scout. I need you to sign here." No, you're not leaving till you initial this spot. Now go to page 9. Acknowledge you read this. Like, that's weird. And then then she handed it to the guy cleaning the windows. Like, he's not capable of taking paperwork over to another spot in the building because he just happened to be cleaning the windows when you saw him. How dare he? How dare her? I apologize.
I want to say that I think everyone should consider rescuing a dog from either the Greenville Humane Society or a local dog rescue. And a lot of these 1-star reviews, probably some of the sadder ones we didn't read, are basically the dog was sick when we got it, right? And yeah, that could happen. When we got Scout, she did have kennel cough, which is rough but pretty common in dogs from a shelter. It's like basically a cold for a dog, right? These places don't have like vets on staff a lot of time, or if they do, they can't like it's not like they're checking out every single dog every single day, right? And like diseases spread fast in these places. So one of the risks you take is it might get a little sick after you have it, but if they can treat it, you can treat it. And I think our kennel cough thing, it cost us $100 or something to pay for some pills, and then she was fine 2 days later, So go adopt the dog, take it to the vet, and then you have a beautiful little animal that you love so much.
It's supposed to be a thing called love. You're supposed to care for these living things with, not, why are you this way? Get out of here. I hate this place.
Like, and don't try to get a deal on your dog, like you shouldn't be like part of your payment is not for the cost of the dog. It's to keep the Humane Society running and growing. And what you're complaining about is because they don't have enough money, right? Like all these people complaining about the money, like that's why your dog isn't as healthy as it could be, right?
Yeah, you have to really like it is literally just called unconditional love. That's just all it is. Like, no matter what, like whether it's your child, whether it's a pet, whether it's family in general, like things in life are not perfect, but you guess what? You stick it out, you figure it out, because no matter what, it is unconditional. Like that is literally also what a dog is. I was listening to a podcast the other day with actor Zachary Levi from Shazam and Chuck. And he actually just wrote a book. And it's about, the premise was basically he's battled depression a lot of his life. And he came to terms recently, a couple of years ago, when he went to therapy, about getting himself out of those like really bad depression times where he's almost borderline suicidal. And he talks about how this long theory that he can explain better in his book and in an interview, that about how love can change the world. And his example is, you look at a dog, and a dog is not only just filled with like just so much love for its owner and other things in life, that like look how much love a dog can have just for being domesticated, right? And then it returns the favor. Like when you come home, your dog is probably most like my dog, my wife's dog. Let me just be clear: it's my wife's dog. It's not my dog. It's my wife's dog because I love the thing to death. But at 10 months old, he's already in love with my wife. So if I pick him up, I walk in the house, he'll give me a lick or two. But then immediately will put his paws on my face and kind of push me aside to see if my wife is with me. And if it's not, he'll just hang his like head over my shoulder until she walks in the door. And it is pure. It is so just lovely to see because at times like he's the only thing if I had to go to work or something or the kids are gone, whatever, like that dog is there for my wife. And that there are many dogs who are there for their owners and it's just one that you take for granted. And no matter what, if the thing gets sick, if the thing's not behaving, you still have to fucking love the dog if you truly love something. And that's what's crazy about it. So long story short, check out Zachary Levi's new book as well. I downloaded the audiobook. I've not cracked it open, but I respect and love the man, the actor, for what his interview said. It really made me do something there. I agree with you in that you should go adopt and rescue animals. I have a friend of mine. Her name is Ryan Baden. I've known her for over 10 years. She's an incredible human being. She, in particularly, likes to adopt specifically older dogs. She does not go and get puppies from rescue. She gets like senior dogs and it's really cool that, I mean, she just gives them a good life. I mean, she has no kids and she treats them exactly like her own children in a sense, gives them a good long life while with her care. And just, it's just really cool. And that's something to see, like, depending on situations, like sometimes those kinds of dogs need it the most too, because people want puppies so much that just any, I don't know, middle age, dog past 2 years just gets overlooked. And it's just really sad. So adopt, rescue, especially senior dogs as well.
Hell yeah. And Greenville Humane Society has a lot of 5-star reviews too that are people really happy with their dog.
Yeah, if you want a good day or if you want to turn around a bad day, go to Google reviews, Greenville Humane Society. And instead of what we do, where we click on the lowest and we like to read the bad reviews of good places and turn good press and bad press, where we say about this podcast, click on the highest and look at the people who are super excited and happy of their pets that they got to adopt. And they have taken some of the best photos that will just turn your day around, whether you like cats, dogs, whatever. It is quite the thing to turn your day around. So there are many people who love the Greenville Humane Society. Over 2,000 reviews. The ones we read, there's more 1-star reviews, but it's all like those kinds of whiny people. This place has a 4.5. For the amount that they have to deal with, they do a tremendous job. I love Greenville Humane Society. I've known friends who have volunteered there. I have donated there myself. I try to do donations and drop offs when I can as well. They do a fantastic job. And like you said, adopt, rescue where you can. Unless you're just me, like an asshole, and go to a breeder. Whatever. This has been 1-star reviews. Find more episodes of our reviews out there. We've done over 100 episodes thanks to co-hosts with Taylor and other people, so Larry Simonson, Caleb Westman, Dustin Bays, all those folks there are my friends, friends that you know as well. Check those past episodes out. Give us a like, subscribe wherever you're listening to, and help us out as we do more episodes. If you have suggestions of places you want us to review, write at yesvandrew@gmail.com, but also do me a favor and do Taylor a favor. Check out the Professional Technical Interviewee podcast, where we listen to voices on as well. You can find his podcast, Professional Technical Interviewee, also on YouTube. He has his interviews up there as well on video. And if you are looking for a tech job, looking to spruce up your technical interview skills for an IT job, definitely highly recommend Taylor for that, because he helped me as well get into a project manager job in an IT field. And I did that a few months ago, and I probably had the best job I've ever had in the last 4 months I've been doing it. So can't say things highly enough. Professional technical interviewee, Taylor Dorsett.
Pew, pew, pew.
We're just going to end on a pew, 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 just so you know. Pew, pew, pew. That's just what we're going to do now.
Did you see the photo I sent you of my dog? If you go to All Hearts Rescue in Polson, Montana, and you look at the top photos, you see my dog spread ass eagle on the couch.
Well, that's what we're going to do.